Hi, friends. Oh, I'm so glad you came today. I was thinking about you yesterday and our time together when I went and visited my friend Daisy at her farm. I know, because as we were talking about these chickens, it got me thinking about you and it got me thinking about math. Now, what do chickens have to do with math? Well, let me show you. See, how many chickens do you see in the picture I took? Three chickens, right? Yeah, they're so cute. But guess what Daisy told me? She has eight chickens in total. Do you see eight chickens in that picture? No. Where do you think the other chickens might be? Oh, yes, they're in the barn. That is exactly right. So I started thinking, hey, this reminds me of a math problem because if I know that we have three chickens outside, but if I add those together with the chickens that are on the inside of the barn, and then in total I'll have eight, well, doesn't that look familiar to you, friends? Yes, it's starting to look like a number sentence that we write here in first grade. But we don't really draw pictures as part of our number sentences, do we? No. So let's give this an upgrade. We're going to go ahead instead of those three cutie chickens, we're going to write the number three. And then, oh, I don't have a number yet for the barn, so I don't know what that number is yet. Ooh, I know. Because it's something unknown, something we don't know, I'm going to go ahead and just put a box right there. That way, I have a space to fill it in later once I discover what that answer is. Okay? So let's read our number sentence now. 3 plus something equals 8. All right, we're putting together a really nice number sentence, friends. So, what do we have next to do? Of course, we have to figure out the unknown, okay? I'm going to suggest that we use a tool to figure out the unknown that I love because it keeps us very organized, and that is a number path. Ah, I love a number path. It's so clear and neat and tidy, and I love it. Okay, so if we want to use a number path, we have to first think about what we know. Well, we know that there are three chickens for sure, right? And then eventually we're going to add some to that to get to eight. So on our number path, I think that maybe we should count on. I think we should start at three and then count on to eight. And then all the jumps or the hops that we have to do, that will tell us how many chickens are inside the barn. All right, so here we go. Can you count on with me? I'm going to just count up to eight, starting at three. Here we go. Three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead. I want you to press pause. Can you count how many jumps I took? And then press play when you're ready. All right, how many jumps did I take? Let's count together. One, two, three, four, five. Did you get five? Yeah. So five is the number of chickens inside the barn. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad we finished our number sentence. Let's read it together. 3 plus 5 equals 8. And we use our number path to help figure that out. Awesome. But you know what? We counted on, but you can also use a number path in a different way. It really just depends on how you were thinking about the chickens. Let me show you. Okay, so if I walked up to the barn and I knew walking up that there were eight chickens and I was going to be looking for eight chickens, but I only saw three outside, I might create a different type of number sentence. Maybe I would do a subtraction number sentence. I want you to go ahead and press pause. Can you think of a subtraction sentence that starts with the total of eight and then subtracts the part we know to get the equaling the unknown? Press pause, think for a second, and then press play. We'll go through it together. Okay, did you think of a number sentence? This is kind of tricky because we're kind of flip flopping our brain all around, right? All right, but let's see. If I know that we had eight in total, and then I subtracted the other part that I knew for sure, which were those three chickens, then I could create a number sentence that equals the unknown, right? And the unknown in this case is what's in the barn. So, oh wait, I gotta get rid of those chickens. Okay, so my number sentence now is looking a little bit different. It's 8 minus 3 equals the unknown. And this number sentence is different from the other one because this time I'm starting with the total amount and then subtracting the part that I know for sure. And the unknown becomes, well, it's still the unknown. I don't know it. It's the number of chickens in the barn, right? So let's think. what we could do next. Oh, I know. We're going to get our number path. And this time, instead of counting on, we're going to start at 8 because we know that was the total amount. And we're going to count back 3 because 3 is the other part that we do know. So we're going to go ahead and jump back 3. Let's go for it. 1, 2, 3. And then where we landed is our answer, 5. When you count back, you start with the total and then you count back the part that you know to discover the unknown that you didn't. All right, so our number sentence now says 8 minus 3 equals 5. Now, I bet you're wondering, how was I able, well, you and I together, how are we able to create 2 number sentences about the same type of information? And how are we able to count on and count back for the same problem? I know, it's a lot. We're really stretching our brains together today, friends. But you know what? Our learning goal for today says, I can count on or count back to find the unknown number. The super duper duper cool part about math is that you are the boss of the math that you're doing. That's right, friends. Not the teacher, you. I mean, they're also the boss, but you're also a boss. Okay? When you're solving a math problem, you get to decide how you want to solve it and strategies that work really well for you. So today we're going to show how you can count on or count back to find the unknown number. All right? So we started doing that already because when we were talking about all the chickens, we knew even in the first part of the story and in the second, altogether there were 8 chickens total, right? The part that we knew for sure that there were 3 chickens. That's only a part of that group of 8. And we also knew for sure that the rest of the chickens were hiding out in the barn. But we didn't know what that number was. So that became our unknown. And once we figured out it was the unknown, we really just got to think about what's the best way to solve the problem. And we could solve that either counting on, where we started with the part and counted up to the total, or counting back, where we started with the total and counted back the part we knew. So there's different ways to solve the same problem, and that's where you, as the boss of the math, gets to be in charge of those numbers and figure out how you want to solve the problem. And today we're practicing both. Okay, so let's do another one. Can you go ahead and press pause? Can you go get a dry erase board and a marker? And then press play when you're ready. I'm going to have you do the next problem with me. Okay? Okay, do you have a dry erase board and a marker? Oh, perfect. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to tell you a story first. So I got out my pencil case. It's sitting right there. And then 2 pencils were sitting on my desk. But friends, guess how many pencils I have altogether? 10. Yes. 2 were on my desk, but the rest were in my pencil pouch. And then all together in total, I have 10 pencils. I know, I'm lucky. All right, so on our dry erase board, let's go ahead and we're going to create a number bond to show all the different pieces of the information we know about my pencils. So here we go. At the top, it's going to be the number 10 because that's how many I have total. Can you go ahead and write that? Okay. Now, we know a part of the group of my pencils. How many pencils were sitting on my desk? Yeah, 2. So can we go ahead and write that as the part? For sure, because we knew those 2 pencils. We can go ahead and write the number 2. Okay, now let's go ahead and do a little arm and try to figure out. Now, do we know what this number is yet? The number of pencils in my pencil pouch? No, we don't. So what are we going to draw to show it's an unknown number that we're not sure what it is yet? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do a box. And I'm going to tell you the reason why we're not putting a question mark there, because like we don't know what the answer is, we're going to do a box so that we have space to fill it in with the answer. If we put a question mark there, we'd have to erase it once we figured out the number, and that would just kind of get messy and confusing. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just make sure it's a nice empty box. All right, do you have your good number bond set up like this? Awesome. Now up here, this 10 is all the pencils I have all together in total, right? 2 were on my desk, and the unknown is what I don't know, which is the number of pencils in my pencil pouch. That's what we're going to figure out, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and squeeze this little number bond up there, and let's create a number sentence using the information we know. And let's start with the part. So go ahead, we're going to say 2 plus 2 plus, do we know what we're adding yet? No, we don't. That's the unknown, is equal to the total amount, which is 10. Good job. Can you go ahead and make sure on your dry erase board you've written that beautiful number sentence? If you need to press pause to work on it and then press play when you're ready, definitely do that. Okay, so now we have our number sentence set up. And what we're going to do is we're going to use our number path. And we're going to go ahead and on this one we're going to count on. So, if we're going to count on, where are we going to start, friends? Yeah, we're going to always start with what we know. And the first piece of information in our number sentence that we know is what? The number 2. Yep, so we're going to start there. And where are we counting on towards? What are we going to stop at? Yeah, we'll stop at the total amount. So we're going to stop at 10. All right, now I just want to let you know, I have a very fancy number path. It's where all the numbers are laid out for me. But if you don't have a number path like that, if you're just writing it on your own, you can just write the number 2, give yourself some space and write the number 10. And then you're just going to hop as you count on until you get to 10. And when you get to 10, stop and you can just count your hops. Okay? You don't have to have those numbers written out for you because you know how to count to 10. All right, but here we go. I'm going to have you go ahead. I want you to press pause. I want you to count on, start at 2, do your hops until you get to 10, and figure out what that unknown number is. Okay? Press pause while you do it, and then press play when you're ready to check yourself. Okay, did you count on from 2? You filled in that unknown number? Okay, let's see what I did. So I counted at 2, and I'm just going to jump. I'm going to keep hopping until I get to 10. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, now that I've done that, does that match your picture? Oh, perfect. Now that I've done that, all I need to do is count my hops. So can you count my hops with me, friends? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what's our unknown number? Yes, 8. Yeah, 2 plus 8 equals 10. Hey, where are we going to put that 8 in our number bond? Yeah, in that unknown spot too. Excellent job. See how we use counting on to figure out that missing part? Very cool. Now go ahead and erase your board, erase your board, erase your board. Okay? Now, like I said, every time we solve a math problem, there's probably going to be more than one way you can solve it. So we can take this same number bond and create a totally different number sentence and then count back this time on our number path. Here, let's do it together. All right, so is your board erased? Okay, good. So we're going to take our number bond, the 10 total with the 2 part, and then our unknown over here. And this time we're going to count back. So if we're counting back, we probably are going to write our number sentence starting with the total. So the total amount was 10. And we're going to subtract the part we know, which is what number? Yep, 2. And that will equal the unknown part that we're not sure about. So on your board, make sure that you have a beautiful number sentence started just like mine. And this time we're going to count back. Now, when we count back, and just like every other time with the number path, we're going to start with what we know. So we're going to start with that 10 on our number path because that's the part we know first. And then we're going to hop back or subtract the 2 as we count back, okay? Again, if you don't have a number path, totally fine. You're just going to count your hops, and then you'll figure out what number you landed on. All right, so here we go. So let's start at 10, and we're going to hop or count back 2. Here we go. 1, 2. And that's it. That's all we had to do. Hey, that was fun and easy, huh? All right, what number did we land on, friend? Yeah, we landed on 8. So that was our next part. And see, I filled it into my number bond too. So see, even though one time we counted on and the other time we counted back, we can come up with the same answer because we're working with the same numbers in the number bond. It just depends on what we feel like doing to solve the problem. All right, our learning goal for today says, I can count on or count back to find the unknown number. And that's exactly what we did today. So as you're working on your problems today, just really be thinking about, would I like to count on or count back? And which strategy do I like best for each of the problems? All right, see you later, friends. Have fun.